Hello, wonderful galactic beings, and welcome to Lucinda Soul. My name is Selinda, and in this video I'm going to talk about the song And Others Call It God. For those of you who haven't seen my previous videos, I've ordered the songs of my first album according to the consciousness levels as developed by Dr. David R. Hawkins. And this song resonates with the consciousness level of peace, 10 to the power of 600. So first I'm going to talk about the consciousness level. Then I'm going to talk about the song and my personal experience, in this case, and with this consciousness level. And then I'm going to sing. So I have some notes, that's why I'm looking down, okay? So in this consciousness level, God view is all being, and life view is perfect. And the predominant emotion felt is bliss. And the process that we go through is illumination. It's a wonderful state to be in. Yeah, I can just recommend out of personal experience that living a life just trying to reach that consciousness level is worth living. That's all I want to say, because that consciousness level is unique. It's beautiful. It's blissful. So in this state of consciousness, one is suspended in space and time. So space and time doesn't exist. All is radiant, all is alive. Everything around us, everything living, all life basically that is surrounding us is radiant and alive. And you can see it and you can feel it. Everything is entangled and coordinated as if dancing together. Okay? The mind stops trying to conceptualize anything. It doesn't rationalize. It's just, I wouldn't say blank, it just stops thinking. All of those noisy thoughts that we have just stops. It's wonderful. And you're just suspended. You feel suspended, elevated. And one more thing, and that's really, I want to talk about my personal experience afterwards. Everything that you witness, whatever you witness, is witnessing back. So the witnessed object and whoever is doing the witnessing become one. Okay, so the observed and the one observing become one. It's one experience that you share. It's really magical. And the energy that you feel in that moment is loving. It is caring. It is powerful. It's infinite. It's eternal. And it's gentle. It's extremely gentle. Okay. Whew. Okay. So I'm going to talk about my personal experience. And I wanted to mention Huston Smith. He just came to my mind when I was taking my notes, and I was like, I really want to mention him because he's a religious scholar. He passed away in 2016, bless his heart and all of his insights. I watched some interviews of his, and he was specifically talking about his own psychedelic experience, and I had my psychedelic experience as well. So I had the opportunity to try, how are they called again? Psilocybin mushrooms, or psychedelic mushrooms psilocybin. I'm not a scientist. I didn't do research on this, but I had the opportunity because I had a naturopathic friend, and he said, really try it. And so we did this whole ritual on 3 occasions. We had this possibility of trying. We did this ritual of setting our intention first, and basically asking a question. What do you want to learn? Is there anything that needs to be resolved in your life? And so we did that. And the 3 experiences were completely different because you were asking different questions, right? So the 3 experiences were different. And I'm going to talk about my first experience now with those mushrooms. By the way, they're also called magic mushrooms, and I think the food of gods, if I'm not mistaken. And it truly is like that. It's magical. So, okay, what I also can tell you is that it's not hallucinogenic. This is not the experience that I had. So there's, nothing sort of made up that or some illusion, or I don't even know what hallucinogenic is, what the experience of hallucinogenic is, but from other people talking about it is like things appearing that haven't been there before. But it's not like that, because everything that you experience is there, but you just see it in a different way. It's a different perspective of seeing it. Not even a perspective, you are just it. You are everything that you see and experience. And what happened to me, so I live at the lakeside in Switzerland, right? And so we went to this beautiful magical place. It's sort of like a shore, and there is grass. It's right at the lakeside, and it's called Rachmaninov because it's close to the house of Rachmaninov, where he used to live when he was in exile. So it's called Rachmaninov. It's sort of like a beach. And so we went there, and we had this experience there. So I set my intention, and I was going through some rough times. I think it was 2021 or 2022. I'm not sure. No, I think it was 2021. And I set my intentions. I had the mushrooms, and there's also a certain amount of time of mushrooms you should have according to your weight, right? And height. So, and then the magic started. Oh my God. Literally. What you see is, or what you experience is everything coming to life. Like I could see everything breathing. I could see the mountain across from us breathing. It was alive. I felt like I was able to talk to the mountain. And I did, actually. And I heard a response as well. So you're communicating with all of your environment, everything that exists around you. I was talking to the trees, and they were responding. I could see the trees breathing. I could see the grass and the soil beneath me breathing. And it's not like, I was having difficulties balancing or anything. No, I wasn't drunk or anything. I was super connected and focused. It's nothing like that. So you're focused, but you see everything coming alive around you. You feel everything around you. You feel the flowers around you. You feel all the animals around you. The birds, like we had seagulls, like coming so close, and they never appeared to get close to humans before. Like I didn't have like a one-on-one experience with a seagull or another bird, wild bird, or other animals, insects maybe, but I had this seagull flying so close, coming to us, sort of like greeting us. It was here to say, oh, finally, finally you're connected, finally you're here. And it's like, okay, I'm so sorry. It felt like I needed to apologize to nature that we have been so disattached, that we have forgotten where we belong, that we are part of it all. We are part of it all. We are part of nature, and therefore a part of energy and a part of source. So it was truly a fantastic experience, and I can only confirm what Huston Smith says about these mushrooms and his experience. It was one of my most spiritual and intimate experiences that I had, and it has nothing to do with religion. It was truly a spiritual experience. And yeah, and this is what he talks about a lot, right? Because he's the religious scholar. So thank you, Huston Smith, for your insights wherever you are right now. So, and then another thing happened. It was a coincidence. Luca, my ex-partner, came to me and says, Selinda, I just found this amazing poem. It just popped up at work on my screen, and I have to share it with you. Please read it. And we have to write a song. And I'm like, okay. So he came across this poem by Herbert Carruth. I think it's pronounced like that. I'm sorry, William Herbert, if I mispronounced that. He was a poet and a professor so he lived from 1859 up to 1924. I had to write that down. And he wrote this poem called Each in His Own Tongue. Each in his own tongue. And reading through this poem, I was like, oh my God, we truly need to create a song surrounding this poem. And so Luca came up with the left hand melody, and then he had some ideas for the right hand that I further developed then in the fourth verse, and I added some I added the fourth verse of that poem, because we have not used the fourth verse or the fourth, I don't know how you say it in poetry, but the fourth part of that poem. We didn't use that. It didn't resonate with me, and I'm going to tell you why it didn't resonate. Sorry, why it didn't resonate with me. So this is this is his poem, and the fourth verse would have been: a picket frozen on duty, a mother starved for her brood, Socrates drinking the hemlock, which is poisonous, right? And Jesus on the rood, and millions who, humble and nameless, the straight and hard pathway plod. Some call it consecration, and others call it God. So that fourth verse didn't resonate with the rest of the poem, and you'll see why. Because in the three verses that we've used for the song, he's actually talking about the evolution of the planet, of nature, and humankind, and how we perceive nature. Like, just as I talked about my observations before, he talks about that. And just to get back to the psychedelic experience is, you don't get addicted or hooked to those mushrooms, I never had the feeling that, oh, I need more of it. So that was my personal experience, and parts of that state stay forever. Okay, so this was truly amazing. So parts of that insight, whatever state you move into, just stays with you. It seems like it opens or activates something innate within us, that just remains. It remains, not fully, but parts of it remains, but you can access it at any time. So if you set the intention, you're there again. So this was something, and I think that's why you don't feel like, oh, you need more of those mushrooms, because it's not like you're back to normal life. No, it changes you forever. So those observations, some of it changes, and the water, I still remember the water, how it moved in a certain way and danced and communicated. I had the feeling I was communicating with all of the ancestors of humanity that have lived here on planet Earth. All of the, yeah, it seemed like it was all there, that we were never alone. Everything that happened on planet Earth, on Mother Gaia, is here. It's all here. Never gone. Eternal. Infinite. So just to go back, to mention that. So William Herbert Carruth, he sort of explains that state that you're in, and whatever state that is, whether it's your third eye that you're activating, your pineal gland that gets cleaned, I don't know. But this is what he explained, and then he gets into the fourth verse, where sort of the consciousness level is like, right? It's like, I don't want to be reminded of death. I don't, because we're talking about eternal, infinite. And I understand, living the mission. Yeah, those he mentions, they were living their mission, right? They were doing it because they were doing it for a higher purpose. I understand that. That's actually a very high consciousness level. But it didn't fit with the rest of the poem. So that's why I omitted it. I'm so sorry, William Herbert. And I created my own ending, basically, of the song. Exactly, that was my contribution to the song. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Oops! And now I'm gonna get into that state. Sorry, I just touched the camera. All right. And my intention is to sing the best version I can of this song live. Otherwise, I'll just re-record it. A fire mist and the planet, a crystal and the cell, a jellyfish and a saurian, and caves where the cavemen dwell. Then a sense of love and beauty, and the face turned from the clod. Some call it evolution, and others call it God. horizon. The infinite tender sky, the ripe rich tint of the cornfields, and the wild geese sailing high all over upland and lowland. The charm of the goldenrod, some of us call it autumn, and others call it God. Like tides on a crescent sea beach, when the moon is new and thin, into our hearts' high yearnings come welling and surging in. Come from the mystic ocean, whose rim no foot has trod. Some of us call it longing, and others call it God. Some call it Holy Spirit. Look within, can you feel it? And others call it Source in our will, the change of course. That magic inner light, that source shining bright. Let's align and be divine. Wow. Thank you so much, wonderful galactic beings, for listening. And what I wanted to say last is, I actually wrote it down. So by changing the ending of the song, I actually wanted to demonstrate that God consciousness is innate within us all. It is already here. It is present. So we can turn things around. It doesn't have to end in death and destruction. Right? We can choose positive behavior, constructive behavior. It's up to us. And so I wanted to thank William Herbert Carruth for his wonderful poem, Wherever You Are. I hope you're okay with me changing the ending, because I wanted to demonstrate that we can turn mankind around. And we can be who we are truly meant to be. Okay? So that's my last message. Thank you for listening again. And remember, stay luminous. Bye for now.